Oh, hey there, welcome back. It's your good old Uncle Khlamps here with a story time for everybody. So sit down, get cozy, recalibrate those gears, and go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me right now. We can pause. Hold on. Did you do it? Okay, we can move forward now. I got a story time for everybody today. We're going to talk about Mechagon through the eyes of Khlamps. So before we start, let's talk about what Mechagon is. Mechagon is a small piece of land, a tiny little island in the north of Kultiras. It's pretty much, think a mashup between Stormsong Valley's rolling hills and a greasy industrial nightmare. Perfect. Rustbolt, the last refuge of the rebellion, is on the northeast side, while the entrance to Mechagon City is tucked away in the southwest corner near Junkwat Depot. It's a nice little spot if you ignore all the deadly robots and angry trogs and floating mechanical death traps. I mean, okay, for some reason, there's a place called Toothy's Shallows, which sounds like a nice vacation spot if you're trying to get bitten by a mechanical fish. I digress. So we gotta start at the foundation of Mechagon. So King Mechagon wasn't always this evil robot overlord dude. He in fact was once a regular gnome king from Gnomergan, who decided that 400 years ago he wanted to live in a different land and find the land of techno goodness, or whatever the you want to call it. So yeah, anyway, he disappeared and gnomes told stories of him, probably with way too many exaggerated details, but nevertheless stories. Turns out he found this magical island full of machines and just casually decided to claim it as his own, like dictators do, you know? He even convinced his followers to start turning into robots so they could avoid getting old and become perfect and upgrade themselves, you know? Just had to be the min-maxers of Azeroth. I mean, who needs wrinkles when you can be a walking, talking death machine, am I right? So this kind of leads me to the rediscovery portion of the story. Fast forward a few years later, and King Mechagon decides it's time to finish what he started and make everything a robot. Just mechanize everyone with the Mecha Originator, a machine so powerful that it could turn the entire planet into one giant mechanical nightmare. Yikes. Meanwhile, his son, Prince Erasmin, who was totally over this whole turn everyone into robots thing, decided to plot a rebellion. Unfortunately, a nosy old gnome named Curvo Cogpipe shows up and spills the beans, and suddenly, Prince Erasmin is fleeing to Rustbolt with his followers. Whoops. Meanwhile, in, Azeroth, on the other side, the Alliance and the Horde, who have no idea what the hell's going on, are like, hey, what's in this cool vault? So they both rush to the abandoned junk heap in Kultiras, open the vault, and discover a message from none other than King Mechagon himself. Unfortunately, it comes with a free gift, a scanning device that vaporizes anyone who is not a gnome. Classic gnome move, by the way. After some drama, Gazlo and Tinkmaster Overspark manage to figure out that the only way to stop it is to use one of the captured gnomes as a human shield, key. So anyway, this happens and they get the coordinates to Mechagon. After all the vault drama, Overspark and Gazlo show up in Mechagon to meet Prince Erasmin, who's all like, alright, I'll give you a tour of my island, just don't touch anything, okay? He gives a sob story about Rustbolt being ransacked and kind of asks for help. So naturally, both factions are like, hey, we hate each other, but sure, let's go save your friends and take down your dad, I guess. A few battles come and go, a couple battles later, they end up freeing the robot named Pascal K1N6, because every robot needs a name like that, I guess, and take down King Mechagon's evil mechanical empire. But with all that, is the future of Mechagon safe? Did we really end the madness? Well, according to an alternate universe, who doesn't love a good what-if story, things go terribly wrong. Bondo Big Block, in exchange for his own mechanical upgrade, sells out the rebellion and leads a full-on invasion of Rustbolt. King Mechagon shows up as a hologram, declares victory, and then kind of just sets off the Mecha-originator, wiping out all of Azeroth. Oops. Awkward. The few survivors are now left wandering around, trying to fix things. It's a whole mess. One brave survivor, Azira Gearsworn, gets some fancy new legs, kills Bondo because, revenge, and somehow figures out a way to send a message back to the main universe. Who says time travel isn't useful, eh? So what have we learned from this story, kids? What is the lesson of the day? Well, perfection is a good goal, but very unobtainable by any of us mortals. So all you can do is be the best version of you that you can be, and maybe try to go easy on the mechanical parts. Yeah. Well, that's story time for today, through the eyes of your Uncle Khlamps. Now go bother your mom.